Well, for some more analysis on the latest in the French presidential campaign, I'm joined by our foreign affairs editor, Philip Turle. Philip, let's perhaps start by talking about Eric Zemmour, who is one of two far-right candidates in these upcoming elections. Now, he held a meeting in Saumur over the weekend. His political party is running on a nationalist anti-immigration agenda. How is that different than that of Marine Le Pen?
Well, there are several fundamental differences between the different candidates. And what we're seeing here is each one trying to pick off the ideas that appear to be pulling in the voters faster than their own ideas to try to nick, if you like, or steal the voters from the other far-right and right-wing candidates. So you have Marine Le Pen, who is the leader of what was formerly the National Front in France, which has been rebaptized the National Rally. She's in second place in the opinion polls behind Emmanuel Macron on 25%. She's on about 17% at the moment. So unless there is a major upset, she could make it into the second round of voting where the top two candidates will face off, and then the winner of that becomes President of France. The problem is that Marine Le Pen has got very stiff opposition from a hitherto unknown candidate, who is Eric Zemmour, who was formerly a journalist, he was a television interviewer, who is running, you're right, on a very nationalist far-right ticket. Where things differ between the two is that Marine Le Pen, since she took over the running of her party from her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, has tried to make it a little bit more of a normal party, to clean it up, to make it less racist. It was accused of being in the old days, anti-Semitic. She wants to make it more of a mainstream political right-wing party. That has brought in more voters, but it's also kicked out and excluded several voters who think she's now too clean and too normal, and they want someone else who's more radical, and that's where they've shifted off to Eric Zemmour. Not only the voters, but also some of the members of her own party. Another one just defected this weekend. Stéphane Ravier, who is a senator, announced he was leaving Marine Le Pen to join forces with Eric Zemmour. So Eric Zemmour is not out of the picture. He is level pegging in the opinion polls with Valérie Pécresse, who we've just been hearing about. And even Valérie Pécresse this weekend, during her meeting at the Zénith in Paris, was talking about the great replacement theory, which is a conspiracist theory that is the one of the key elements of Eric Zemmour's campaign. He is claiming that France is going to be overrun with Muslims coming in from North Africa, and this is going to destroy French culture. So she mentioned that in her speech, crossing really a red line, I think, for Valérie Pécresse at the meeting this weekend. The big problem for her is the further she shifts to the far right to try to pull in the voters who could be tempted by by Marine Le Pen on one side or Eric Zemmour on the other, the more she risks alienating some of her supporters, who will then go off to vote for Emmanuel Macron. And that's what we're seeing there as well, where we've seen this weekend two more of Valérie Pécresse's supposed supporters in the form of Eric Woerth, a former Minister of the Budget, and the Mayor of Calais, who has also announced she is going to leave the Republican Party and join forces with Emmanuel Macron because she feels that Valérie Pécresse is not the right candidate and doesn't go far enough in supporting what could be the traditional Gaullist right wing in France.
And Philip, speaking of Emmanuel Macron, he still hasn't confirmed officially whether or not he's going to be a candidate. Why the prolonged suspense?
Well, Emmanuel Macron knows that he is high in the opinion polls. Whatever happens, he will be first in the first round and probably will win the second round. If he's against Eric Zemmour, he'll get 61%. If he's against Marine Le Pen, 55%. And if he's against Valérie Pécresse, 56%. So it looks pretty much as though he is going to win this election. But there is frustration that he hasn't announced his candidacy. And the polls in France are sort of saying, OK, we accept that he's busy running the European Union, he's busy dealing with the Ukrainian crisis, but he's got to declare his candidacy. We know he wants to be a candidate. So I think if he doesn't do it by the end of February, beginning of March at the latest, then we could see growing frustration with Emmanuel Macron, because many people say, come on now, come into the arena, begin that fight with the candidates. We want to see what you're going to propose if you're going to be elected for another 5-year term.
And with less than 2 months to go, Philip certainly is cutting it close. We'll have to keep it there for now. Philip Turle, thank you for that update on the French elections.